explore the 7 tarot key cards of the Path of the Seeker. Today, we are covering the 6th card. This is key 20, Judgment. An alternate name for this card is the Key of Fire. Here, one might think that we are, again, looking at a disturbing card. How many people really like the prospect of judgment? Let alone that these people are rising out of stone coffins. As Paul Foster Case explains, judgment implies completion, decision, termination, the final state of personal consciousness. Again, we find the man and the woman of the previous keys. Here again, we have the woman representing the subconscious and the man representing waking consciousness. Yet here we now have a small child as well. This child represents a new state of consciousness that is the result of the subconscious and waking consciousness working together. All three are gray to show the pair of opposites, subconscious and waking consciousness, have been neutralized. They are one cohesive unit. The woman reaches up to receive the divine breath and her arms form an L. The child also reaches up to receive the divine breath and its arms form a V. The child's back is to us because he has turned his back on the physical material reality and towards source. The man is passive and his arms form an X. These three together, L, V, and X, form the Latin spelling of the word light. This is the same light as the lightning bolt from the Tarot card. Once that light is consciously accepted, you are in harmony with it. The angel Gabriel, wearing a blue robe, represents the divine breath. The angel also represents the ability of the mind to look at itself. The trumpet that Gabriel is blasting represents the divine breath of fire. On water, this creates steam, forming the cloud he is nestled within. There are 7 notes coming from the horn because there are 7 basic musical tones, each of which are associated with the chakras. The 13 bolts coming from Gabriel's cloud represent completion and unity. The shield represents the number 4. This signifies completion. This is also the cube depicted in other tarot cards, most notably the half cube that the devil sits upon in Tarot card 14. That was the first in the series on the Path of the Seeker. The banner represents salvation, which is a labor we have done to save ourselves. The sea upon which the coffins float is the final reservoir of water of universal consciousness. The coffins are rectangular, which represents the 3 dimensions of the physical plane. The man, woman, and child standing at 90 degrees from the coffin symbolize they have entered the 4th dimensional plane of existence, which is concealed from the 3D perspective because it's at a right angle. The coffins are also made of stone, representing the original state of consciousness. The fact that the coffins and the people are rising out of the water, explains Jason Lauderhead, represents getting out of the mind. You don't have to identify with the mind because you are able to make a conscious choice. You are no longer ruled by subconscious urges. The snowy mountains in the background represent the heights of abstract thoughts upon which the hermit is perched. Like water turned to ice, this has made the mind still. The 4 elements and the 4 stages of manifestation are represented by the different states of water. The icebergs represent earth in water form, which represents the idea stage of manifestation. The sea represents liquid in water form, which represents the tool stage of manifestation. The clouds represent air in water form, which represents the effort stage of manifestation. The lightning bolts from Gabriel's horn represents fire, which represents the result stage of manifestation. The color for this card is scarlet. This represents the astrological sign of Aries. Aries represents both philosophy and science. The Hebrew letter is Shin. This means tooth, like a serpent's fang. This tears up the limitation of form like teeth breaking down food. The serpent fang kills the false personality and the false sense of separation. This card is summed up perfectly in this statement by Jason Lauderhead. Personal consciousness is on the verge of blending with the universal. The adept realizes his personal existence is the manifestation of the relationship between self-conscious and subconscious, neither of which are personal, but modes of universal consciousness. There is no separation. The musical tone is C natural. You can head over to my blog where you'll find the image of this tarot card key and a sound meditation embedded into the post. As you listen to the sound meditation, you study the card. I will also leave a link to the sound meditation in the description box below. Take out your journal and write down any impressions or thoughts that came to you during the meditation. Well, that's it for today. Congratulations for having reached this point in your spiritual evolution. Not many people reach this point, and we still have one card to go. Thank you for joining me in exploring this avenue on the path of the Seeker.